Okay, today I'm going to be talking about Jackshafts. This is a Jackshaft setup I got on my Minibike here, and there's plenty of reasons why you want to use one. A couple of reasons is if your chain's really long, if you're just straight chaining it from the rear sprocket all the way to the clutch, it can be too long and start slapping up and down, and it can fall off a lot of the times. That's what was happening to me. That's one reason. Another reason is for gear reduction. You can change the sprocket sizes in the rear and on the clutch, but if you're running a small tire and you need a bigger sprocket, you kind of start running into the risk of ground clearance with your sprocket and hitting it on roots and stuff and bending it. So if you use Jackshaft, you can use a smaller sprocket in the rear and make up for that difference of gearing on the Jackshaft. A benefit to this is you're using shorter chains. There's going to be two of them, but the chain's not going to be as long, so it's less likely to fall off. It's easy to change gearing on it. All I would have to do is just take this nut off, pop the chain off, and swap the sprocket versus taking the rear tire off the axle and then splitting the rim, taking the tire off, and then unbolting the sprocket from the wheel. Another cool thing about Jackshafts is you don't need to change gearing necessarily to use them. In my case, my chain was so long it was slapping up and down on a straight chain from the clutch to the sprocket, so that's why I put the Jackshaft on it. It's 12 tooth on the clutch, all 12 tooths on the Jackshaft, and then a 60 tooth in the rear, so it's not changing my gearing with this Jackshaft. So that's another good reason I'm using it, and why you could. This is not really a Jackshaft that's made to be used like this. This is actually a torque converter Jackshaft, but I don't have an extra driven pulley to put the torque converter on this bike, and I didn't have any other ways to fix my chain problem, so I just kind of got creative, and that's what I did. Another cool thing about certain Jackshaft setups is you can transfer power to either side of the wheel. If you wanted to, you could run the shaft all the way over here and have your rear sprocket over there. That's really helpful on a go-kart, so you can get more versatility in where you place your sprocket, so you can, for ease to work on and other reasons. Some Jackshafts will bolt to the motor, others they mount to the frame. It depends on what style you have. I really like the bolt to the motor style because I can take this whole plate off, pull a clutch and all this assembly back on, and I can straight chain it if I wanted to, and it'll only take me like 20 minutes. Jackshafts are also cool because if you wanted to, you could run a clutch on the Jackshaft itself and use pulleys on the motor and on the Jackshaft on the front. I used to do that on my go-kart, and it worked very well for many years. So that was a quick video on what is a Jackshaft and why do you want them and what their uses are. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.